All right, guys, so we got a question from a young man yesterday, and he said, Elijah, I'm going into high school, and the school that I'm going into is splitting me up from all my friends. Some of my friends are going to like different classes. I don't have anyone in the classes that I actually know. How do I make more friends and develop a social circle? Guys, what I'm about to share with you is something that I wish someone would have told me when I was a teenager. And even now, if you're a grown man, this is super, super important because it teaches us what makes you charismatic, what makes people attracted to you like a magnet, and just like being a cool human being. All right, so first off, let me tell you a story. We have a couple of characters, Kurt, Rachel, Dennis, and Emily. Now imagine for a second, you're going to a party, and you show up at the party, and you knock on the door, and Emily answers. And Emily is this very shy and meek woman. She kind of answers the door a little timid. She peeks out. She looks down. Oh, hi, come on in. She's very, just like, you're like, whoa, is this girl okay? Let me give it to you a different way. She's almost too nice. She's like, yeah, come in. And we're like, oh, she's so nice. She's so like quiet. And so we almost take pity on her. And I want you guys to observe this scale that I have. You have your strength up here and you have warmth. Now Emily is on the far end of the warmth spectrum, but she doesn't show any strength. Okay, this is very important. Next, we have Kurt. We walk into the party, we see a bunch of people. Kurt comes up to us. He's like 6'4", pretty jacked, power lifter. He's wearing some nice clothes, and he comes up to us and he puts his hand out and he gives us this crushing handshake, and we're just like, oh my God. And on top of that, he dominates us. He puts his hand face down and just dominates us, this crushing grip, and he just like starts talking about himself and his accomplishments and stuff, and then he leaves you abruptly and he goes back to his group. This is a man that has a lot of strength, physically, and maybe even perceived strength. A really good example here is military generals, sergeants, okay? Jocko Willink, I think his name is. That guy is full of strength, but he also has some warmth, like he cares about you. Okay, but the guy that just has strength, the drill sergeant, we envy and we fear. We don't really want to be around this guy. We don't want to really get to know this guy. Now this is a weird character. This Dennis guy at the party, we see him standing off in a corner. He's on his cell phone. He's sort of like sweating, and he's hunched over. He's looking around. His eyes are constantly scanning the room for value, for the hot girls, for who's at the party. He looks almost nervous and timid. This guy shows almost no strength and zero warmth. These are the people that we have contempt for. Now Rachel, you look around and she's in the living room, and there's two couches. There's a coffee table and everyone's having coffee, and Rachel's talking, and when she's talking, she's enthusiastic and she has her opinions. She doesn't, she actually will talk about what she believes. But then when it comes time for someone else to talk, she is very attentive. She's quiet. She listens. She makes eye contact. She has a faint smile. She laughs, she actually authentically laughs at people's jokes when she finds them funny. She's kind, she's warm, so she exhibits high warmth and high strength. Now when I was in high school, this was me. I was Emily. I was young Elisha, new to the school, shy, afraid, maybe even a little bit of this, to be honest. And I didn't really open up. I showed no strength. I thought it was good to always be the nice guy. I just let life happen to me without actually taking any responsibility and like maybe going up and saying hi to a girl, maybe introducing myself to a group of kids that I thought were cool or playing basketball. And so over time I had to develop getting out of that comfort zone. But I realized the comfort zone is just like a scared thing. It was just me being scared of judgment. So as we look at Rachel, this is sort of what we want to be, because admiration is here. People like to be around people that exhibit high signs of strength combined with warmth. Okay? These are the people we want to be around. And this is going to draw people to you. Like I would say to you, man, you're young, you're in high school, and there's a bunch of new people. Open yourself up and ask questions. This is another thing I wrote down. Ask questions, because it's so important, because you got to realize people like to talk about themselves, and they'll do so. And you can learn so much about a person when they start talking about themselves. They'll just keep going, especially girls. You know, for a long time when I started getting into game, I thought it was a sin to ask a question. I thought that I always had something, that I needed to say something witty, that I needed to say something that makes her laugh. And I realized as I got older, that's not true. And part of the reason my game has really changed, I used to be very nervous. And so I would just throw myself into the situation just to overcome the nervous. And I wouldn't really be calm and grounded in that masculine energy. But I've realized that when you ask questions, this lets people validate themselves or qualify themselves. They like to talk about themselves. They like to talk about where they shop. They like to talk about their interests and their hobbies. So the third key here, strength, warmth, but there's a third key, which I think is probably one of the most important ones, and that's the ability to be present. And how do you be present around other people? By being quiet and by listening. This is something that Rachel did really well. She would listen to what other people had to say. She wouldn't interrupt. We all have been in conversations with people that go like this. They're just constantly nodding their head and they're saying, right, yeah. It's like, you're not listening to me. And so when someone is listening to us, we feel like we're being heard and understanding, and that bonds us to that person. And the good thing about when you decide to listen is that when it comes time for you to talk, now the other person's going to reciprocate that and listen to you. It's very, very cool. Lastly, very important, this is from How to Win Friends and Influence People, a basic skill. Use people's names and remember them and say their name right. And this can be tough, but you can practice. Practice names. Practice remembering names. A good way to do this is say someone's name 3 times. Oh, your name's Jack. Hey, Jack. Nice to meet you. Hey, Jack. Just saying it in a combination like that helps you ingrain it in your brain. But a person's name to them is the sweetest sound in any language. And a lot of people have their names on their name tag at work, right? We can use those to our advantage. And not in a sneaky way, just to develop relationships and form your social circle. I'm telling you that just by understanding this, you'll realize that these people you begin to meet at an early age, some of the best relationships that you can ever have. Some of the best opportunities that you'll ever have. You'll meet hot girls, you meet cool girls, you meet cool guys. You could meet your future business partner. You could start a project together. You could help each other in homework. You could be really good friends. You could live together. It's like there's so many cool opportunities that I wish I would have taken advantage of and been savvy enough to know that it's time for young Elisha to open up. It's time for all of you guys to open up. Think about where you are here. Think about how you can add a little more strength, how you can add a little more warmth. So that's it, guys. And also being present and listening. So important. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.